You know who I fucking hate? Well, I should preface that actually. I've discovered that when people hate other people, especially whole groups of people, usually they don't have any individuals in mind. They'd have like a hypothetical caricature of that person and what and the kind of stuff they might say in their head that they sort of have a hate boner for. Like if you've ever gone to political Facebook pages, like liberal pages or conservative pages, they don't actually engage with people on the other end of the political spectrum. They engage with straw men. They construct like a hilariously stupid effigy of what they think conservative or liberal opinions are, and then they tear that apart. Like, remember that argument Clint Eastwood had with an empty chair that he pretended was Obama at that one Republican National Convention? That kind of thing. People uh, like hate their idea of what other people are like. So I'm conscious to some degree that my feelings are unreasonable. That doesn't make them any weaker though. Who I fucking hate is remember toy commercials when you were a kid? There would always be some like rad looking cool dude, cool, with who's a fucking 10-year-old. How cool was anybody at 10? But this kid was fucking cool cuz he had the whole budget of not the whole budget, but a significant portion of the budget to make him have like a sweet haircut and awesome clothes and sunglasses. And he would be playing with the action figures in an indoor miniature landscape. Remember that? Remember how all the action figures, they never showed the kids like playing with them in the backyard or whatever, like everybody actually did. They showed them playing. Fuck, I probably have to start this over, don't I? I'm not going to start this over. Fuck that. Anyway, they showed them playing with the action figures and the vehicles and shit on like the kind of expensive miniaturized landscape that you would expect like a 50 or 60-year-old uh, guy with like a model train set hobby to have built in his basement. We're not talking about like just a little diorama. We're talking about like a fucking quarter of an acre of indoor miniature landscape constructed for the sole purpose of making playing with action figures slightly cooler. Well, not slightly, it was fucking bitchin'. That was like a major fantasy of mine as a kid. Before I was like developed enough physically to start having like sexual fantasies, and before I started having car fantasies, I think my number one fantasy is like a 9 or 10-year-old was just to have that warehouse that had been converted into one giant indoor space just for action figure play. Right? I mean, I can't be the only one. It made it seem so fucking cool and important. Like the battle between these little plastic characters was like legendary. It was going to decide important things for the future. And then you get it home and you're playing with it on like the rug in your room. And you're like, why is this not as cool? Something's missing. I'm gonna get some leaf blocks on here. Look at how easy that is. Thank goodness. It's really fast to collect leaf blocks, which makes it extremely convenient for when you're building undersea domes. The only problem is these. Look at how much durability that took off. Just what I was doing there. So when I was talking about like the archetypal 90s cool kid, I think the best example was the Crossfire commercial. Remember that? You'll get caught in the crossfire, crossfire. It was like two kids on either end of this little Crossfire board game where you shoot little like metal BBs at each other across. They would roll across the table and they would hit a top. There'd be a little top, and you were trying to spin it into the enemy's goal. It's sort of like soccer, but you're shooting little mini BBs to influence where the top goes. Don't ask me. I mean, it seemed awesome. Like, the ability of toy marketers of that era to make the stupidest shit look awesome is still... it's still something I'm in awe of, frankly. I don't think I'm wrong to feel that way. They talk about having studied up on how to persuade somebody to buy something from you. Like, some of the shit that they got us to buy... Like slime. Remember how fucking every action figure came with slime? Why? Why did we all want to dump neon slime onto our toys and then have to struggle to recover as much of it as possible so we wouldn't have to explain to our parents why we needed another fucking plastic tub of slime and then wash our action figures afterwards? I think the story behind that is they overproduced slime for the Ghostbusters figure line, and then they had to figure out what to do with the rest of it, so they started to introduce playsets for He-Man and Ninja Turtles and shit. And it made sense for Ninja Turtles because the ooze. But He-Man, I mean, He-Man getting drenched in slime just sounds like an erotic fanfic. It doesn't sound like something that would happen in the show. Yeah, how do you like that, He-Man? Gross, drippy slime, cascading slowly over your rippling taut muscles. Actually, I'm kind of into it, Skeletor. Can't do He-Man voice. Skeletor's the only one on that show that's really fucking worth a damn anyway. I need saplings. I am eventually going to plant trees. I just don't have a tree dome. So I may as well gather some saplings. That's all the leaf blocks I can gather with those shears. Can I? No, I can't afford. Can I afford? I'm gonna do it. No, I still need shovels, so I can't do that. What else did I come to land for? Came to land for wood. I came to land for leaf blocks. What's that? Is that a sign? Oh, it's a chicken. Oculus Rift resolution, everyone. So fuck, I actually want an Oculus Go. I want it. I didn't think I would because it's basically just a neutered version of the Rift. Doesn't have positional tracking, doesn't have a lot of the stuff you really need to have good VR, but it's so portable. And if you're playing a gamepad game, you're getting the same like experience that you got on like the DK2 or CV1 games that are gamepad only. But you can play it anywhere and it's not dependent on external sensors. This is kind of cozy. This takes me back, building shallow water habitats like this. Oh, fuck you. Really? Sup, dolphin bro? That's kind of cool. I'm sharing the neighborhood with dolphins. No, you're not invited. Will he come up through the moon pool, I wonder? I'm going to need to build a cage down there. Oh, I need the ladder. That's why. That's why I went to all that trouble. I can remember things. My brain works. Somewhat. Oh, that's really not cool. Look at that. Look. What am I supposed to do with this? Why are you spinning? Why are you spinning? And then fucking rotten meat floats up inside my moon pool. Briefly. Oh, it is coming up. There it is. Oh, that's beautiful. That's really going to improve the property values. Ugh, gross. Can I grab it? I can't even grab it. I'm just going to leave it floating there. As a stern reminder of what I've gotten myself into. I have all these sticks. Now I can make a ladder. See, I told you I understand shit. I can count all the way to Z. That's the furthest anyone's ever counted. Let's see, here we go. Oh no, I forgot these don't destroy water blocks anymore. I actually have to do this. Wow, that's interesting. So you can't do a lot of the tricks to create air bubbles that you used to be able to. That's going to make life really fucking difficult. And yet I can't really argue with it because life was too easy before. If in terms of what am I trying to say here? In terms of building anything underwater, it was just too simple before. There were too many glitches you could use, and now it's going to be harder, which is going to make an underwater base more valuable. Let's see. I'm glad I saved these. Just put one of these away. And look, in fact, let me put a bunch of these away. I don't need all this in my inventory all the time. Now they've repositioned this chest. There's really no good reason to be carrying all this. No, I need these. Probably need some of those foods. Why am I not growing potatoes? I should be growing potatoes right now. They're a much better food source than grain. I need that. I need that. I need that. I could make... What can I make with leather? I could make armor. I don't really want to make leather armor, though. I can make books. I don't really need books either. I don't need no book learning. Let's see. What should I carry as food? I have the most carrots. I'll just carry carrots. Oh, cool. There's that rotten meat. Thank goodness. Let's store that forever for future generations to enjoy. Now I'm going to waste 2 of my grain just by destroying it like that. I guess I get the seeds back. I'm going to plant these. In fact, I'm going to plant some carrots too. There's no good reason why I should be growing only grain. I guess it's easy and familiar. Okay. Okay, I'm equipped to dive deep into the earth and begin to retrieve more metal, which I'm going to need a lot of. I'm digging straight down. Don't be like me, kids. Don't do what you're seeing me do right now. This is not advisable. This could go straight down into lava for all I know. It would serve me right. Too distant. I sure wish I had a fucking depth meter so I knew what altitude? Depthitude? What the fuck is the word I want that I was at so that I could get to just exactly the right depth to mine iron is what I want. I may as well start branching out here. Blop. Thus begins the underground portion of my base, which is going to be at 50% of what this base is for. The nice thing about having little mini habitats, in case you're wondering, in case you're like, what the fuck is he doing? Why is he doing that? It's that once you deplete all the resources in the underground area under your main base, it's often worth your while just to build a little smaller habitat somewhere else, like that's distant, maybe reachable by underwater train or something, and then mine from there, and you'll have the same success that you did when your colony was new, because that's all shit you haven't already explored down there. I can't mine up very far. That's going to be kind of a limiting factor here, because I'll just come up through the seafloor. There we go. There we go. Feels kind of hokey, doesn't it? That I'm excavating the land right under my sea base, and this is not causing any engineering problems. Well, I sure fucking hope I hit some good resources soon. Hope I find lava, man. If I found lava, I could just make a bunch of buckets. Which is what I had in my old colony. I had a shitload of buckets powering auto smelters. I had 3 double, I think parallelized is the word, auto smelters in my smelting module. Well, I'm not finding anything. And this is, yep, this is my last pickaxe. I really hope I find something soon. Hope I find some iron. So if there's a heaven, I think it should just be that you get to live your life over again, but the hyper-idealized life of that cool little bastard kid from those 80s and 90s toy commercials who just had everything. Basically, being rich already is heaven. Rich people are in heaven, and poverty is just being in hell. Being in hell is poverty. Fuck, now what am I gonna do? I have no more tools. What a big help this mine turned out to be. I sure am glad I went to all this trouble. Yeah, I needed to go deeper. Giggity. Well, I need a pickaxe first. This is my entire base, though. This is making me think. It's activating my almonds, and I don't like it. It hurts. I guess I have enough wood that I could just make a fucking stone pickaxe. All I'm ever going to need these for is sticks, so I may as well just make the sticks now. I never use wood in construction of underwater structures for obvious reasons. You don't want to fire. I mean, you would think it wouldn't be a threat, but it doesn't destroy the glass, so it actually keeps the water out as the fire is burning and just destroys fucking everything. And you can't get away because you're in a confined underwater structure. It's not as easy to escape fire as it would normally be. Let's see. Now my quest is to find a non-shitty pickaxe after I make this one. That fucking sucks. God damn. Hello, fishy man. Fish friends. This is what I came down here for. This is what I thought it would be worth starting a new map for. And so far it is. I'm actually pretty enchanted. You can't see my face right now, but it's hella fucking enchanted. Just believe you me. You'd be like, whoa, that dude is enchanted if you saw me. Okay. Now I have everything I need to mine, smelt, and enter and exit easily for sand harvesting. Why did I put the moon pool on this side when the sand is over there? Questions I should have asked myself while building this place. Give me some fucking iron. Am I not at the correct... I must be. How can I not be at the correct depth for iron? I'm already underwater. Or does it start measuring ground level from wherever the ground starts? That can't be. That can't be. I think it's all even strata. If I don't start getting lucky soon, I'm just going to dig down another level. There's some coal at least. I can make more torches. This is much slower. Oh god, this is reminding me why I hate starting new maps. I wish I could have just regenerated the terrain on the old map and just kept building that giant colony I had. I've built the same underwater colony more or less, like 7 times now. Just because of updates and servers closing down and this and that. Also, fucking water gun commercials. Water gun commercials assumed that every kid on your street was going to have like a fucking huge expensive water gun, and that your parents were going to have set up cover and like fortifications. And oh my god, Nerf gun wars. Nerf gun wars never just took place in like a living room. They took place in like this parallel Nerf dimension where all disputes between countries are settled in like a Nerf arena that looks like a laser tag arena, kind of, where everything's just like neon plastic to match the aesthetic of the guns. What is that universe? That's where I want to live. Where everything is just designed to make whatever you're doing as awesome and fun as possible. And to hell with the expense. Fuck, really? How could I not have hit any iron by now? Maybe I need to go down a level. If I don't hit any iron soon, I'm going to go down a level. Alright, I'm going down a level. I'm going to make a new pickaxe. Go down a level. See how fucking convenient this is, though? Holy shit. Look at how easy I can mine under the ocean floor and not even have to come up for air by having my own little house down here. And now that there's actually stuff to look at and harvest from the seafloor. Look at all those fish. Oh, this is awesome. I'm so fucking pleased. I don't think I could measure the hardness of my nipples for you now if I tried. But the weird thing is, when you're out in the water, the visibility is actually better than when you're seeing underwater stuff through glass. Everything's just dark and like a silhouette. Yes, finally, god damn it. Was that so hard? That's a pretty generous vein of iron, too. Uh-oh, this is going to flood the mine. If I allow it to. I think I'm going to try to work around it. No, I can't work around it. It's all gravel from here. Neato. Neato, my favorite. Fuck! I'm going to go make a better pickaxe. This is the first thing I'm going to do. I'd be mad if it wasn't so clever. I mean, they can't sell you. They can't tell you that you're going to get that environment with the toy when you buy like a Nerf gun or something, but they can imply it. They can sell the fantasy of it. Okay. One of these ought to be able to smell all that. So I'll just do that. And I'll do one of these. May as well start smelting a shitload of other stuff now that I have enough coal to do it. One of these. And make some more torches. Let's divide the coal evenly. Until, I hope fairly soon, I hit lava, at which point, if I haven't killed myself, I should be able to... Well, I'll respawn here anyway. I should be able to move past coal and just start exclusively using lava as a fuel source. What's down here? Look at how much better the visibility is. I can actually see stuff. How come the renderer can't make me see like what I'm seeing right now through the glass? And how come whatever renderer they're using on Bedrock Edition now makes the glass invisible from the outside when you're underwater? What's like almost invisible. Look at that. What's going on there? It's weird. I don't like it. There's a dolphin, yay! None of them have tried to rape me yet. This game is pretty unrealistic, I have to say. I've been making too many rape jokes. Rape jokes are not funny. Unless it's a clown. Unless it's two clowns. Nobody mourns clowns. Okay, I think I'm set. I think I'm gonna have all the iron I need. I can make shears. Should I make shears? I shouldn't waste what I have. I should make 2 pickaxes and then maybe 1 shovel. Because who knows when I'm going to get the shit I need to make pickaxes again. Or I'll just save that and see what needs making by the time that I have more iron. Put that there. I might have need of it again. I'm ashamed to admit. But shit gets dire sometimes. It gets dire. This is just reminding me of how OP my old setup was. Like, I didn't have to think about smelting. I didn't have to load fuel except like once in a blue moon because I had an auto loader set up with like a double chest full of lava buckets. And then like once in several like months I would have to go and take the buckets, stacks of 16 at a time, however many full ones would fit in my inventory, and go down to the layer with all the lava. And eventually I started to run to actually deplete the lava lake that I was getting my fuel from. So I built an entire nether colony just for safe, easy access to the nether's endless lava oceans. Which is kind of poetic that one day, it's kind of the plot of Doom 2016, that mankind would one day try to extract energy from hell. We would do that. That's consistent with our character. You know what Minecraft needs is vehicles. Like for a while, Notch was trying to make this into Skyrim. We already have Skyrim. We don't need bad graphics Skyrim. So I understand the interest in fantasy themed stuff, but what we really need is a couple different kinds of vehicles. We need I like the old timey because it has to be shit that one guy could plausibly build by himself if he was stranded on a desert island, but with the incredible stamina of Steve. So like the flying machine shouldn't be an airplane. That's not realistic. It should be a hot air balloon, which I think was a mod at one time, but it should be in the vanilla game. And just make it require fuel so that it's not overpowered. Make it consume fuel every second it's in the air. There should be a submarine, and you're saying like, whoa, come on, a submarine? I don't mean like a nuclear military submarine. I mean like the earliest historical submarines, like the turtle, the HMS, I don't know if it's the HMS. The turtle, that little tiny one-man sub that guy killed himself accidentally trying to attach a bomb to the underside of a ship that was in a harbor. I think pretty much everybody learned about that at some point. Like that, like a primitive wood. It was basically just like a rounded barrel. Barrels are already kind of rounded, but this one was like a bulb. It was not quite spherical, but close. Like that. And it should be about 3 by 3 by 3 in terms of size, because that'll be suitable so that it can come up inside of small moon pools. And I don't know if it should have a resource that it consumes to generate air. Maybe it should just have a much longer lasting bubble meter. No, I feel like it should require resources. Otherwise, like, why would you build that instead of the magic respiration helmet? Maybe it has to recompress air from the surface, but it takes fuel to do it. So you have like a stack of coal in there or something, and on the surface it activates the compressor in order to refill the air supply. And maybe to balance it out, it takes a long time almost as long to refill the air as it does to use it. What the fuck? What is this? What is this shit? Hold on. It's just a chamber full of water. There's nothing even in here. There's nothing good in here to justify that. Hold on, I gotta plug that up again. But I think I did see some iron. That was unexpected and unwelcome. Like anything out of the ordinary in my life. I'm going to use 2 pickaxes just to get the materials I need to make 1 replacement pickaxe, aren't I? I think this is the first video in the series where I figured out once again the settings so you should be able to hear sound effects instead of just my voice. But then again, why would you want to hear anything but the smooth, sonorous, melodic sound of my voice as you slowly stroke yourself to completion? I know that's what I do. And I project that onto everybody else because that's the degree to which I understand other people's motivations. Fuck! What, was that a shovel? I was using a shovel. This is like 2 veins of iron. Sweet. I was a little too cynical earlier. I'm getting a decent amount of iron and decent amount of coal. That's not too shabby. Let's see. Let's put the floor back. And I'll know from the texture that I've already dug here. And then I'll know from this that there's water up there. I'm not sure what to do to get past it. Let me continue this tunnel downward. No, that one. No. Keeps changing to a different tool. Why are you doing that? What? I really shouldn't be digging down when I can't see where I'm going. Oh, this spooks me bad. It's gonna come right out in lava, isn't it? It's gonna come right out in lava. See what's down here? Probably nothing good. So I've been noticing something while looking at old video games and fantasizing about having the money to buy them. There's a period where shit's old enough to be worth something on the collector's market. And then there's a period where it's slightly newer than that, but still old as shit, where it's still not worth anything. That's kind of where Game Boy Advance is right now, and like GameCube and PS2. Like nobody's collecting for those as vintage consoles yet. But Super Nintendo stuff fetches a high price. Sega Genesis stuff fetches a high price. Sega Saturn. PlayStation doesn't fetch a high price because there's a bajillion of those made. N64 stuff is still kind of just trash that you'll find in a Goodwill or a garbage dump. One wonders how long it's going to take for that to be vintage enough that it's going to start fetching high prices, and whether or not it would be a smart thing to buy a bunch of them now while they're still fairly worthless. Okay, let's try this way. No real reason. I'm just hoping for riches. Like people who were smart enough to start mining crypto back when Bitcoin was like brand new. I'll never not be salty. But I'm doing all right. I'm making a living off of crypto, but there are people who have like who drive a Tesla and have like a mansion that was paid for entirely by bullshit imaginary internet money. And I'm not even mad. I just wish I was one of them. I think there's two kinds. Well, not there's way more than two kinds of people. This isn't some Myers Briggs bullshit. But there's two ways that people react to being envious of something other people have. One of them is that you don't hate them, but you mope. You get mopey because you wish you had all the cool stuff they had. And there's the other one who the other approach is I'm just as good as that person. How come I don't have what they have? They must have gotten it by illegitimate means. I demand they share it with me. Which is kind of the communist take on poverty. Because if you can't admit that there are people who are smarter than you, then if anybody in the world has nicer things than you, then they must have cheated somehow. Funny how that works. Did I plant a potato here? I'm going to plant a potato here, not more wheat. I don't need more wheat. So yeah, when I see like I fucking hate those kids in those commercials who had all that cool shit when I was a kid, but as I've grown older, I don't like feel that so much. I just feel wow, that's nice for them. I think I can cook these now, can't I? I'm never gonna need these again once I have a potato. Why am I cooking? Why not am I growing anything but potatoes? All right, this goes here. In fact, I can speed this up. This goes here. Should actually take 2. What did I put 8 in there for? In fact, it shouldn't even take more than that. I keep forgetting how energy dense coal is in this game. And I guess in real life. I'm going to go ahead and destroy these. I guess, actually, it feels good to have diverse crops. It does. Having just potatoes would be kind of boring. So maybe I will continue to have 3 different crops. And that will help me build up seeds and raw potatoes and things that I'm going to need later on to start the garden in the colony proper. See how handy this is for just having a place to build up your resources? Because otherwise I would still be on land right now. We would be on episode 3 and probably episode like 5 or 6 before I actually started to build a colony if I didn't have this little place to hang out underwater and build up the sand and iron and stone brick and all the other things that I need. That texture is not different enough from the other ones. So there's kind of there's enough of a reality to the concept of a zeitgeist, I think, or a collective unconscious. But I think there's some fantasies everybody had as a child. And I think one of them is having an entire swimming pool that's been converted to like a dense gelatin or like a gummy material, so you can burrow into it like an earthworm or like an ant colony kind of. You know those ant colonies where it's not even soil, it's like a gel, it's an edible gel that the ants eat away, and it contains all the nutrients and water that they need. Like that, but it tastes good and like kid sized. I don't think I thought through how sucky that actually would be though. Like when you start to need to use the bathroom, like what are you going to dedicate certain chambers to be the bathroom chambers? What happens if you're eating a tunnel through the gelatin like a week from then and you accidentally come through into the bathroom chamber? Turds in your mouth, that's what. Didn't think that through, did you? Fucking should I start making armor? I feel like it's premature because I still am out of pickaxes basically. So seeing 9 iron made me think, it's time to start making armor, but it really is not, is it? It is not armor time. I mined enough with 2 pickaxes to make 3 pickaxes. That's at least that's over unity. That's not too shabby, I don't think. There we go. 3 different weapons. I'm not leaving anything to chance. Hopefully there's more good shit down here. It won't just be a huge fucking waste of my time. I think I found iron on both levels so far. I just don't know where it's most common. Boy, I'm getting a lot of useless ore. And now I have a wall of gravel to deal with. Wonderful. So you ever seen those battery-powered electric motors? I mean electric lawnmowers? Of course there's motors that are battery-powered. Yeah, don't buy those. Unless you're willing to spend a lot of money. Like there are good ones that will actually do the job, but they're like $600 or $700. And then there's these really tempting ones that look like they might be able to do the job for about $300 to $350. They don't do the job. They don't. Don't buy those. Like I don't even have that large of a lawn. It's like a quarter of an acre. But like it came with one battery, and then I got another battery with a different tool. Between 2 of those batteries, it could mow about a third of that tiny lawn. It's less than a quarter of an acre. I need to measure it on Google Earth, but it's not big. I just don't want to use a gas-powered mower. What I wound up doing is just returning that sumbitch and ordering a corded one because it's small enough that I can do it with an extension cord. So I don't know why I didn't do that to begin with. I guess I wanted it to be like cool and futuristic. I get gadget lust over weird stuff that I normally wouldn't care about. If there's just an opportunity to buy something expensive to do a mundane task in a futuristic way, I'm all over that shit. I'm all over that shit. Like Harvey Weinstein on... No, you know what? I'm not going to finish that joke. I'm not going to... I have scruples. Big, boisterous, jiggling scruples. Boisterous or oysterous? Which is, of course, an adjective meaning having the property of oysters. I don't know. Being a Let's Player means never having to explain yourself. Except to people who wonder why you've been on YouTube for 10 years and still aren't making any money at it. I'm glad I have an alternate way to monetize these videos, otherwise I would be retarded indeed. Or why can't it be both? It can be both. I can be retarded and still have a way to monetize these. In fact, I think that best fits the evidence. That hypothesis. Where the fuck is the iron? I think the most iron I ever found was in a ravine. I should have hung out by that ravine by the village for a little while longer just to load up on iron. But I think I'm over time. In fact, I'm sure I'm over time. I'm going to call it quits here. After I do a quick overview of the base, just something I want to do at the end of each episode just to show where we're at. Got the 3 different gardens, now growing 3 different crops. Got fish friends and squids, which apparently now use ink against you. That's something new. I really appreciate being able to see the fish, though. Holy shit. That makes such a big difference. And there's actually a good amount of them, too. There's the habitat. It looks kind of like a peanut. Or like one small piece of a dog bone. It looks like a dog bone, kind of. But that's literally all I need. In fact, I could have made it smaller than that if I just wanted to have the 2 pods without the hallway in between them. You don't need a very large habitat if all you want is dry space to sleep, store shit, smelt, craft, grow food, and access the underground area beneath the ocean floor. So this is even a already somewhat extravagantly large habitat for the purpose. Look at how pretty that is, though. That's so fucking cool. It would look nicer if glass rendered correctly. But the fact that there's like coral reefs and shit around it. Ah! Hoisted by my own petard.